All right, today's video is going to be a comprehensive and simple guide to choosing your avatars for B2B consultants, coaches, and entrepreneurs. Now, what I want to cover today is two things. It's how to choose your main avatar, which is your dream client avatar, the person that you actually want to work with. And the second thing is, which a lot of people are not doing. Most people aren't doing this. It's their nightmare client avatar, which is the type of client or the type of person they don't want to work with. And as a consultant, coach, or if you're an entrepreneur, it's very important that you define who is the person you don't want to work with for many reasons. Because one, they'll be a bad client. Two, it's just going to cause you a lot of stress dealing with the type of personality that doesn't fit with you and it goes against your values. So what this is part of our firebrand method, and what we mean by firebrand is how to set your brand on fire to attract the right type of client, to repel the wrong type of client. So you're only getting on sales calls with people that fit your values, that they're a fit for you. So of course you got to be a fit for what they want, but part of your qualification has to be that they're a fit for you. Um, Otherwise, you're just going to be speaking with clients who treat you badly, pay you not don't pay you enough for how they actually speak to you, expect too much, and ultimately disrespect you. And as a service provider, as a B2B consultant or coach, you are the authority, you are the expert, you are the person that's actually teaching them or showing them the way to get where they want to go. So that relationship has to be respectful. And if they show any signs of disrespect, they're definitely not the right client. So I'm just going to go through a few sections today. And first of all, what is the importance of it, right? And how we're going to, how you should, the whole point of splitting your market up, and how it ties into having a strong brand identity that um, defines your core values, and how you can create a niche revolved around your dream and nightmare type of client. And just to give you a simple example, um, by defining a nightmare client, automatically will attract your dream client. Just by actively trying to repel one group is going to attract the opposite group. Now, very, very simple example, regardless of if you're into politics or whichever side you lean, right wing or left wing, it doesn't matter. But if I started to talk about anti-right wing stuff, then I'm going to attract left wing people, even if I have no side. And the opposite will work. If I start to talk about anti-left wing stuff, I'm going to start attracting right wing people. So it's the idea of polarization, um, which is very important in marketing. If you've never heard that before, you've got to polarize your market. You've got to stand for something where you are focusing on an identity. Now, when your target audience can see that identity that they want in you, they will align to you, right? So it's very tribal behavior, which is very ingrained in us as humans, is we like people similar to us who reflect our values, who reflect our identity. Now, the opposite is also true. We hate people who are like the opposite of our identity. So, for example, if you're a generous person and you like the idea of sharing with your friends, for example, and just giving, you won't like someone who doesn't do that. You'll think they're selfish, or whatever it is. You think they don't care about you. Um, but the funnily enough, the reverse is true. You may think your friend is selfish because he doesn't share, but he may think you're selfish in other ways because maybe you're not doing something that it aligns with his identity. So it doesn't necessarily mean one person is bad or the other, but it's just the point is your how we align with identities is so strong, that it affects how we actually view someone and how someone can influence us, or how we want to be on their side. It's another example is in sport, you or in boxing, for example. Like, you pick one fighter that you really want, but the guy, his opponent, you really want him to lose, because something about the first fighter, maybe his style, maybe the way he speaks, his attitude, um, something about his identity you strongly associate with, and the other guy is just an enemy, regardless of who he is. And it becomes so strong that you feel so passionate towards uh, your guy winning and the other guy losing, almost to the point where it it's just about the other person losing at the end of that. All you want is the other person to lose. If you hate someone so much, regardless of who his opponent is, you just want them to lose. So this is really important um, in your marketing and especially in your branding, because you have to stand for something with some kind of value. All right, let's just get into it. So first of all, okay, I've explained why you should be splitting your market in terms of polarization, right? And the idea is to attract people who are like you, resonate with you, as it's going to be such an easier sell when they start to resonate with you. You don't have to convince them because they get you already. And by that very nature, you're going to repel people who are undesirable to you. And this ensures that the relationships you do have with your current prospects or clients that you do like will be strong. And even if you stop working with each other, they'll still be strong. They'll still refer you people. This is why it's very important. So building a clear brand, again, I touched on it. Because of our shared identity, we we want to build a brand that stands for something, and so they can identify with it. So whatever those values are, right? Think about the values that you have, that you want to represent, right? Some people it's trust, loyalty. Some people it's like a forgiveness, for example. There's many things, and it goes deeper than marketing. It goes right into our human psyche. Um, and this also lets you stand out in a competitive market. So again, this is all about identity at the end of the day, right? Why do you stand out versus a generalized? Let's take an example. You're a very specific consultant, let's say a business consultant, that teaches one area of business, let's just say operations, versus a general business consultant. Why do you stand out is because someone who has the problem of operations will flock to you because that's all you do, that's all you specialize in, versus someone who's general, who may have 50% knowledge of operations as you do, but knows like the general landscape. So standing out is really important. It's one of the fundamental things in what you're trying to do for your personal brand or your company's brand, and that the fundamental of standing out revolves around your identity, the values that you give. So clear brand image. You want people to see your brand and think, okay, yeah, I believe in that. And this all ties into creating your own um, niche, focusing on a specific target market, of course, because one target market are not going to be aligned with what you do, and another one will. So this is why it's very important to niche down, because you can only solve problems for a certain set of people. You can't solve everyone's problems, first of all. And by focusing on a specific target market, you'll be able to actually describe the problems that they have, right? Very clearly in the way that they say it. Describe their problems, describe what they want, their desired outcome. Like that's another training for another lesson about how we go more into the market research of communicating to a market. Um, but just know for a fact that the more niche you go, the better they will resonate with you, because you will be able to describe their problems in the way they say it, and you'll be able to describe where they want to go in the way they say it. And it's important to do it in the way they say it, because that's how you get into their heads. That's how when they read your copy or they listen to you speak, they'll truly understand that you resonate with them, because you're using the words that they're using in their heads, the stresses, the pains, the frustrations that they're thinking in their minds. You are using that. So this automatically positions you as that expert, as that authority in the niche. Okay, so now it's about defining your dream client avatar. Okay, so I touched on it before. You have to first understand who they are, right? Their interests. What do they do? What do their values stand for? And now you're going to polarize them. So what we do is we we figure out there's three questions here, right? Who is your favorite client? And I can't take credit for this. This is someone I know who I learned from, called Matt Cohn. A couple of the things I've got from here would be from him. So shout out to him. He's a great growth marketer and consultant in this area. So what we're going to do is identify your dream client with three questions, right? One is, who is your favorite client so far? So they will have attributes of why you like them, right? There's something about them. Maybe it's the way they speak to you. Maybe it's the fact that it's such a smooth process working with them. Maybe they don't ask too many questions. Maybe they just listen to what you say. Maybe they are really respectful. So think of who your favorite clients are, right? And you'll have ones that stand out more than others. The next question is, who would you be happy to work with for the next few years? Right, in terms of your clients that you have so far. And if you don't have clients, don't worry. Think about people in your life, right? The characteristics they have, because you can be friends and you can have family who you get on with, but they're not necessarily people that you want to spend more time with than compared to others. There's other people in your life who you'd rather spend more time with. Um, and why is that? They have certain characteristics that you enjoy being part of. Maybe they make you feel comfortable. Maybe they're not as rude, whatever it is, right? So, and the third question is, who is your most successful client so far? And the reason for this is it helps you feel who can you actually help, right? Like who can you help the most and get them the most success? Because the if you can define the type of client that you can get most successful, your future clients, it's going to be a dream working with them. You're going to get more success for them. It's going to be easier to get success for them. You can make a system around getting success for them, so the delivery will be easier, and it's just going to cause you so much less stress because you won't have to think. The shortcuts in your brain are already there to figure out how to win for them. So you don't have to. It's going to take a lot of ease to actually to get them to the result that they want. So these three questions are really important here. Um, then we go a bit deeper into how to create your dream client profile now. Okay, and now we're talking in terms of demographics, age, gender, location, and income level. That's one level that you can look at. Usually, this isn't a rule, but it usually works, and it works for me in terms of demographics. It's someone that's like you. Usually, someone that's like you, maybe 2, 3 years ago or longer, whatever the timeline is. But it's someone roughly your age, roughly your gender. So you know, people like people who are similar, or they resonate with people, respond to people similar to them. So if you're the same age, roughly, maybe both men or both women, yeah, you're from the same roughly location. Um, Income level, yes, that can be different. Same ethnicity as well. This is big, which I'm not politically correct, so I'm not going to say things just for the sake of being politically correct. I'm going to say things that are in the human psyche, and the things I've studied about tribalism and the things that humans respond to. And for example, similarities between ethnicities, it's a thing, right? Obviously, we all know that. It's just that people don't want to say it. It doesn't mean that you have to have your ideal client has to be from your country or your ethnicity. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying leverage those things, leverage human psychological factors that exist. And one of them is based on tribalism. So that's your demographics, your psychographics, and this is more important in my opinion. The psychographics are, yes, your values, yes, their interests. Motivations is a big one, because now when you can find someone who shares the same motivations or wants the same thing as you, and maybe you've already achieved that, now you can really influence them. Now you can not just influence them, you can help their lives, you can transform their lives, because you know where they want to go to, because you've been there. You were in this position that they were in before, and now you know the exact steps to get them to where they want to go to. So motivations is a big one. So another way of looking at motivations is what do they want? Where are they currently now in their life? Their problems, their pains, and where do they want to get to? Where's their like desired outcome? Again, that's another training that we do on market research as well. And but to sum it up, everybody's in this one island of hell, which is their pain, their problems, their struggles, their frustrations, and they all want to get to an island of heaven, which is the desired outcome, their lack of pain, no frustrations, they're living happily. If you can define that and that's based on their motivations, then you can position yourself as someone who gets them from hell to heaven. Super powerful here. And again, this goes into their business needs, specific problems and challenges your dream clients face. Exactly. The more you can define their problems, their pains, their challenges in the words they use, like I mentioned before, and this goes down to the psychographics, demographic, because now you know them well enough because maybe they're so similar to you, they think the same thoughts as you. They have the same issues as you, or maybe you 2 years ago, and you are a direct path for them to get to where they want to go. And as a consultant, a coach, an entrepreneur, in the game of business, what we're actually in the game of, we're in the game of value, right? It's a value exchange. People pay you because they get something out of it, right? They're going to pay you for your service, for your coaching, whatever it is, because they're going to get something out of it. And so you have to figure out, what do they want out of it? And this is why it's important to niche down, because if you niche down, then most of that niche will want the same thing. And this is important to have similar psychographics and demographics, because if you've gone through that transition before, you know how to deliver that exact same thing. Now you can systemize your whole delivery, you productize your whole delivery, and speak to the people that have the exact pains that you help. And this is the end goal with all of this, right? Speaking to people and del doing um, a delivery service for like delivering your service for people who have those problems that you know how to fix, right? And look, just do the exercise. Okay, I'm going to give further questions below that. I'm going to give you examples of further questions of how to define this, but don't overthink this. This shouldn't take you a week to do. Okay, it will be continuously improved. You will optimize, iterate this over a period of time and refine it. And this depends on the feedback you get from your clients, which is another training we're going to do on client acquisition, in terms of how to actually speak to, find the people that have those pains, speak to them, and speak to them in the way that they want to be spoken to actually help them. And this will all change as you get more feedback, as the market changes, etc. So don't worry that, oh, it's not correct now. It doesn't matter, but don't spend a week on this, because people just spend ages on this, and you just need to have something and go with it. And it's fine to change it later. It's like your LinkedIn uh, bio or your Twitter bio or whatever it is, right? Yes, you can just click edit and change it whenever you want. So just have it, but you need to have something in the first place. So you need someone to look at so they can be attracted to it in the first place. So don't worry about don't spend too much time on this. Okay, we're going to go into your nightmare client too. So this is the fun bit because this is more like, now we're talking the negatives, right? The dark side. And as much as people don't like to talk about this, we all have a dark side. We all have, as the Carl Jung calls it, the shadow, which a lot of people talk about these days. This is also essential in copywriting. If we're not willing to talk about the shadow aspects, right? Uh, the negative emotions, the envy, the jealousy, the uh, all the bad thoughts that you have, and it doesn't mean you're a bad person. We all have that. There's two sides to us. There's the good and the bad, right? It's about knowing that you have that, and knowing when to use that, and knowing not to abuse it, right? If you know you can be bad to someone, you shouldn't be, unless you think it's morally necessary, right? Without getting too philosophical with that. So you have to understand who is the person that you don't want to associate with your nightmare client avatar. So let's go into how to identify it. So three questions here. Again, this is Matt Cohn's question, so I want him to want to give him the credit for this. Um, Three questions. What frustrated you most about this client? Right? What was it? What frustrated you? Was it they didn't listen to you? They didn't take any action? They were interrupting you? They were too rude? You just didn't like the attitude? Just something about them just annoyed you, right? Write that down. Like, really, go as deep as possible. Be a bit hateful if you want. Don't worry about that. This is your own exercise. No one else is going to watch this or look at what you say. What else bothered you about it, right? Think of all the things that actually bothered you about them. Maybe they don't dress like you. Maybe they dress in a way that you don't approve of, right? Maybe if you like wearing suits and they don't like, and they dress like, shabbily, maybe that's what offended you. And that's fine. That's because that's you. That's your identity, right? It's fine. You should own your identity, and you only want to attract people who have roughly the same identity as you. And red flags and warning signs. So this is obviously big. So maybe you ignored it last time. Maybe you saw it. You're like, fine, I want the client. Well, yeah, because we've all been there. We want the revenue, we want the money, and we're like, fine, I'll take the hit. I'll deal with the person, but he'll pay me, right? And then you realize, oh, okay, there were these warning signs, and now he wants me to work 10 hours more every week than he actually paid for, and now I'm obliged to, and now I can't get out of it. So all these warning signs, it's about setting those expectations. Maybe he abused those expectations purposely. So think about all the red flags that, um, and do this with not necessarily your clients, do this with people you know in your life. Again, this is all related to human behavior. You can take a lot of this stuff from your life, your day-to-day life, and this is why it's very powerful, because it's marketing, branding, persuasion, sales. It's the same as human behavior. How to persuade someone in real life, how to convince someone in real life about something, how you tell a story in real life. It's all the same kind of human behaviors. And now we're going to create your nightmare client profile, which is again based on the demographics, psychographics, and their business needs. So, um, their age, gender, location, income level, values, interests, motivations. And again, like the example I use about left wing, right wing. If you're a left winger and you don't want to associate with right wingers, then that's their value, right? You don't have to. If you're a right winger and you don't want to socialize with left wingers, again, that's you don't have to. It's okay. So that is a psychographic, right? Remember, try and associate with people who yes, you want to learn from all walks of life, and you want to get, have a balanced opinion on things, and see the whole picture, etc. Right? Um, but the people you hang out with, are the people you want to hang out with, and that's fine. If they like a certain sports team, um, and you don't like that, fine. Like maybe you like them because they like the sport anyway. So it can get very deep, right? But if you don't define what this is, you're not going to know, and you're going to get on calls with people who right? Like we all have our biases. This is important. We all have our biases. And if the reason you don't like some, let's say politically, right? The reason like a right winger doesn't like a left winger is because they have a certain opinion of what that person stands for, and that opinion is based on their behaviors. Even if that person is a nice guy, those behaviors will still come out potentially, which will annoy you and frustrate you because you don't stand for it. And same with the other way around, right? I don't pick sides because I don't care, but it's important to know. I take from both sides what I find important, um, but it's very important to know where most people stand. And basically, um, they're going to exhibit the behaviors that you don't like anyway. Even if they're a nice person, I'm not saying your nightmare client is this evil, horrible person. It's not. It's not. It's mostly like the person you don't want to do business with for whatever reason, and you're allowed. You're allowed to do that. It's not morally wrong to be like, I don't like this person because of what he believes in, even though he's a nice guy. So don't beat yourself up over that. Remember, the goal here is to only be working with the people that resonate with you, your dream clients, to make your life easier and less stressful. This is the whole goal of this exercise. So again, their demographics, psychographics, business needs, right? Maybe they have certain problems and challenges that you don't want to deal with because it's not what you do, right? They're like they have this expectation that, oh, you're a marketer, you're going to help with this, and this, and you can do this, and this, and you're like, no, well, I don't do that, right? It's not what I do, and you don't want to bend to their will, right? You're the authority, you're the expert. You do not want to bend to what they want, right? You're the expert. Remember this, okay? You do not want to bend to their will. You set the tone. And if you do that with someone who resonates with you, it's not even a fight anymore. It's a complementary relationship. You both enjoy that because you both see the world the same way. And again, right, preventing nightmare clients from entering your business, screening them, right? Learn. This is why we define what these things. So when we get on calls with people, we can just mentally or physically see the list, check that off. Okay, that guy resonates with me easily. This person doesn't. I don't want to work with them. Again, setting your clear boundaries, trusting your instincts. This is all part of this, but you need to define all of this. Okay, now before I go into more dream client avatar and questions and nightmare client avatar questions to ask yourself, here's some tips for success to use those psychographics, demographics in three ways, right? So one, two is to build a strong network, right? If you build a network of people who identify with you, come on, we all know what having a strong network does. That's an obvious thing to say, to develop those relationships with your peers, other professionals, people to help you, whether that's grow your business, partner with, send you referrals, just as a friend, to for whatever reason you need, um, collaborate with. There's so many ways you can use your network to improve your life, improve your business. And especially if you find someone who you identify with, this makes the actual relationship so much nicer and so much smoother. Number two is communicating your value. Now, someone will resonate more to your values if they have the same values as you are, but this goes into your marketing materials, right? This goes into how you showcase your expertise. This goes into your testimonials, your case studies, right? If you know someone who has similar values is going to give you a case study, a good case study or testimonial, because you probably would for someone else, right? You know someone who doesn't would probably give you a bad case study or would never even give you one. So why even talk to them in the first place? So this is all about how it all ties in. And again, on the fulfillment side, excellent customer service, but this can also be, client fulfillment. Make sure your client's satisfied, setting those expectations, building those strong relationships. And if they share your core values, it's going to be a breeze to speak with them, right? They're going to understand if you're having some troubles, if something didn't go right in the service, especially if you communicate with them, look, this is what happened, this is how we're trying to fix it. They're going to be fine. Thank you. As long as you're helping me, I appreciate that you're telling me this. No problem. But the nightmare client will have a go at you. Will leave you a bad review. Will tell the whole world how you suck when even though you didn't actually do anything. So this is what you're trying to avoid, your life being hell with this nightmare client and your life being a dream, even when things go wrong. Right? This goes back to your network, your value, your client fulfillment. Even when things go wrong, they're still going to be on your side. It's basically a safety net as well. That yes, you can mess up, but they won't give me a hard time over it. I'm going to fix the issue and they're going to be happy as well. And again, exceeding client expectations. When you do that, now they speak about you. Now they talk to others about you. Now they start referring clients to you. You want to exceed their client. You want to exceed their expectations anyway. And a shortcut to do that is them already sharing those identities, those values with you, as they're going to be on your side. They want you to win. They want to win themselves, but they want you to win as well, right? It's not like they want to win at your expense and you fail. They want both of you to win. Like everybody rises up. So here's some more dream client avatar questions. So what are their goals and objectives for their business? What type of clients does your client enjoy working with the most? So this is potentially to ask your client now. Consider facts like personality, communication style, work ethic, most successful and produce the best results for. Common demographics. So it's going over a bit of the same thing, but a bit more details, shared values, interests, motivations, specific problems, challenges, um, and how do you help to solve those issues? Because now you can define that, right? Set it like here's a challenge that they have, here's how I help them solve it. And now the nightmare client. Um, what things have you had difficulties working with them in the past? Personality, communication style, work ethic. Maybe they're lazy, you don't like that. Maybe they speak rudely, you don't like that. Maybe they're just like abrupt and disrespect people, you don't like that. You don't want to be dealing with them. Main frustrations or issues you faced with your client when working with these kind of problematic clients. Red flags and warning signs. And these are definitely things you should be talking to your clients as B2B entrepreneurs, you're a coach, you're a consultant, whatever service you're doing. If you're trying to improve their business, if you're trying to improve their life, you need to get from them the warning signs that they have in their lives with other people. And your the client that you take on has to have those shared values and interests as you, right? And you will do the same for them as they do for you and help them in their lives. Okay, so I hope this is all really helpful. Um, in terms of setting up your target market, this is a fundamental step. You've got to define who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with, and this framework gives you how to put that up. Maybe you want to put it in a table or document to make it easier for yourself. That's probably the best way. But believe in polarization, believe in your own core values, and believe in attracting the people that you want to attract, which is going to make your life easier. So hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know. I'd love to know your feedback on this and love to know how this exercise goes for you. Thank you.